They've got similar records in terms of going forward, but the defensive record is so much better on the side of Nicolas. He's only conceded 9 goals in 5 games, whereas Lev has conceded 17 in 6 games.
Yeah, almost double the amount of goals conceded by Lev. However, everything up to this point becomes irrelevant because it's 2 legs of FIFA to call yourself the champion of the PlayStation 4. Our final is underway here in London at the LQE. And of course, it's going to be the familiar kit there of FC Bar, of Nicolas going up against Xlevvinken. He's going to be playing in that Ajax kit, the 3rd kit, I believe that is. And now Ruud Gullit might have the first opportunity of the game to strike it. It's actually Ronaldo who takes the first strike of the game. The Hayer equal to it, makes a comfortable save.
And I'm sure Lev would have been watching the previous semi-final as well, where Nicolas, his goalkeeper movement, just cruised him through to this grand final of the PS4 side of things. And he's going to be watching that saying, all right, well, his goalkeeper movement's on point, so finesse shots might not be able to catch him off guard, so how do I actually get through that? Can I start putting things the other way with the finesse shots? Can I try and trick his keeper and make him move his keeper the other way? All things to be considering.
For Ruud Gullit, just as he was approaching the edge of the box there. Good tackle. Timed beautifully there by Nicolas to win the ball back and win possession. And now with Cancelo, it's time for him to build an attack of his own. And this is what we'll see a lot of from Nicolas. He's very patient in his build-up. He almost waits for his team to get that shape back, that 4-2-3-1, before he moves forward. Looking for those familiar patterns of passing to try and open up those passing lanes and those opportunities like this one to get that ball into CR7 up top and then work around that. Maybe bring in those wide cams, looking for those shots, or maybe looking for that extra pass into the box, which he's done so successfully today.
Yeah, another thing that he does is he doesn't like Gullit and Vieira to be out of position too much. If he notices one of them steaming ahead and getting too far, he usually passes it backwards so that they have time to reposition themselves so that he doesn't get caught on the counter-attack. That was one of the few times where actually Vieira got caught off guard there. The ball was stolen and both him and Vieira were out of position. But Nicolas was quick with his centre-backs to make sure he pressured straight away so he wasn't punished for it.
Messi then down this right-hand side here for Xlevvinken. Manages to find R9, finds Vieira. You can look, Ruud Gullit's in a little bit of space here, tries to fire it into Neymar, gets the ball back and looks for that pass into Cristiano Ronaldo, who was hovering dangerously inside the 18-yard box. Couldn't find the pass, however, manages to get possession back. Steely looks on both of these players' faces, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen as well. Focus is high, concentration needs to be high across both legs, because we've seen, especially when it gets to the end of that second leg, even in these tight games, that's where those little mistakes can come in, those little lapses in concentration that can cost these players games.
And already Nicolas has a high passing percentage, 97%. I wouldn't expect that to drop any more than 5%. He's been hovering around 91, 92% passing. Messi on the turn, can't quite connect with the ball. Hasn't timed it properly. But at the same time, Nicolas had moved his keeper comfortably to deal with that one. And Lev just needs to make sure he doesn't fall into the same pattern as we saw in the previous semi-final of just constantly trying those finesse shots that Houston did.
Little mistake here from Nicolas though, a little loose pass, and it's turned possession back over to Xlevvinken, and that's a great ball inside the left-hand channel, heel to heel from Neymar. Twisting and turning, good tackle. Comes in from Nicolas to just snuff out that danger, and good job just standing up his man there. Not overcommitting to the tackle on Neymar when he got inside the box. And now once again, Nicolas bringing the ball forward now with Gullit into Ronaldo.
He's just trying to find space. But look at how much pressure Lev's been putting on with his centre-backs as well. Varane's so far out of position there, but Xlevvinken was confident that he could win the ball. And he needs that confidence in this game to apply that pressure and stop this domination that we know Nicolas can actually have and apply.
Xlevvinken playing pretty deep here as well. You can see at the moment 10 players behind the ball, only CR7 is the player who's ahead of that. And now Gullit comes forward for Nicolas. Little ball roll. First time we've really seen him get inside the box here. Pele. Scoop turn, tries to knock that ball back into CR7, but well defended there by that team of the year. Raphael Varane. Nicolas, though, with the throw-in now. Marcelo. Into Gullit. He just sails that one short. I thought he did, but he managed to just get there. Messi now. Wrestling with Marcelo. And it's Xlevvinken's defence again who stands strong here. And you have to give some credit here early on. 36 minutes gone. Xlevvinken's defence has been very, very solid when Nicolas has been coming forward.
I've not seen the dynamic tactics that have been applied by these players, but I think they're both on drop back, judging by how many players are behind the ball every time the ball is going forward on either side, which means it's going to be extremely hard to break down. Finesse shots are going to be extremely difficult from outside the area because there's going to be bodies in the way. So you're going to have to try and work your way into the box with a couple of 1-2s, but those passes are also going to be difficult to make. So you've really got to be quick at reading the game and making those fast-paced decisions, those last-minute decisions of, should I be passing this? Should I be shooting here? Should I be just turning and going back to my CDMs, restarting the whole pattern?
Free kick here then for Xlevvinken. Marcelo, the player to commit that foul. Neymar goes short to Marcelo. He gets it ball up in the air. R9 was hovering underneath it. Second phase of the attack then. Vieira spreads this one back out to Team of the Year Sergio Ramos playing in at right back. And now Xlevvinken's just going to take his time, let his team get that shape back before coming forward once again.
Yeah, just resetting. Allowing Nicolas to perhaps drag 1 or 2 players slightly out of position, but Nicolas is too smart for that. He's using his strikers and his RAM, LAM to defend instead. They're all on drop back, so they're all there to be used. And now going forward, maybe a chance here, a little mistake. No!
That was a bigger
Nicolas
mistake.
puts it out of play. Just trying to do a little bit too much with Cancelo.
So into stoppage time at the end of this first half. No real big chances to talk about. Neither goalkeeper been worked. Ramos isn't going to intercept that one. There is probably time for this free kick to be taken, but over the allotted time here at the end of the first half. Wonder if Xlevvinken will just think about getting this one into the box and see if he can get ahead on this one. Maldini sends it up nice and high. Ramos gets it clear though, and I think that will be the whistle going. There is the whistle at the end of the first half. Much like we expected, a real attritional battle between these two players.
Yeah, just the one shot from them both, and actually less possession for Nicolas. Usually is a man who likes to dominate, but we saw in the second leg of the semi-final, he sat back, he absorbed that pressure, because then when he encouraged a little bit of offense from his opponent, suddenly he was able to get the counter-attack on the go. The left back was pulled out of position, the right back was pulled out of position, and then he used Mbappe to get down the wings. Maybe he wants to try something similar in this game. He has that option of switching to the 4-2-2, which did work wonders for him in both quarter-final and semi-final. But I'd say Xlevvinken will be more than happy of how that first half is gone. And I think this is the kind of game of FIFA you get when you get two incredible players who are good at defending. Yeah, it's hard to break them down.
It's going to be the pattern of play, isn't it? And it's going to be, again, who has the combination to unpick the lock of the defence. Second half underway then. Once again, Nicolas opting to bring on Neymar and Mbappe, I believe it was, in that left and right attacking midfield position, just to make sure any ball that gets in behind there, they've got the legs to power past that either of those fullbacks. Marcelo inside then to Neymar at the start of this half. It's Xlevvinken with the first attack. Ronaldo into his counterpart. Mbappe loses the ball, and again, it's just good defending, good solid defending from both players. Making sure they're not over-committing to the ball, to that tackle. Just waiting for the perfect time to step in and win that ball back.
It's going to be about who finds that final pass, Mark. They keep trying to find it, and it keeps being intercepted right at the end. But then you've also got to look at different ways. Maybe set pieces is how you might find a goal in this game, and how it might actually open it up a little bit. Maybe a corner, maybe a free kick on the edge, maybe a throw-in that shouldn't have been given. Should not be putting the ball out like that. Sloppy play gives Nicolas a chance on the offense here.
Here's R9 then, goes for that finesse shot, just mixing things up a little bit, trying to catch Xlevvinken off guard. Managed to make sure that his player was close enough to R9 to get that block though. Have to be so wary of it. Something that Boras has been talking a lot about on his YouTube channel of all places. Is making sure that you have to defend aggressively on this game. You can't afford to let players have space in and around the box because of how powerful those finesse shots are. If you allow, especially these Team of the Year items and these icons to unleash those shots, then it's almost a guaranteed goal in certain situations. You have to pressurize those players in and around the box. Whereas on previous titles, you can kind of allow them to have a little bit more space.
But with the goalkeeper movement, kind of counteracting some of those finesse shots, and now playing drop back and having bodies in the way, suddenly those finesse shots get cut out a little bit, and you end up with a little bit of a stalemate, like this one. No corner, it's just going to be a goal kick. And maybe one of the players noticing that this is a stalemate. And it's going to be Nicolas. He's going to move over to that 4-2-2.
Yeah, interesting. He's obviously incredibly confident with this formation. Interesting that we see it in the first leg, though. Obviously, he thinks that this could be something to find a little bit more space. Maybe stretch the defence a little bit.
Well, it
two players up top as well.
If you've got a 4-2-3-1 against a 4-2-3-1, the CAM often struggles to get the ball because he's being marked by two central defensive midfielders. You switch it to 4-2-2 and suddenly your left attacking midfield and your right attacking midfield can just do wonders on the wings, and you've got two central strikers just waiting. They're making runs, or maybe they drop in to try and grab the ball, which makes things a little bit harder defensively for the CDMs.
Here's your Sabian then fresh on the pitch, and it's an opportunity here for Ruud to strike it, and the deadlock has been broken. The 4-2-2 works wonders again for Nicolas. Every time we wonder, can he break the deadlock? How is he going to break down his opponent? He has the ace up his sleeve in that formation change, and it works again.
4-2-2, Mbappe on the right. It's Mbappe again who makes the difference. And just having those players a little bit wider, stretching the play, it then allowed for one of Nicolas' CDMs to go up the pitch and get involved in the attacking formation. And now Xlevvinken is going to have to switch things up because, yes, all right, he's dealt well in this game with what Nicolas has had to offer. He's kept possession well, but he's not even really looked at goal.
It's the first real strike, to be honest, he's had that I can remember in this game.
I think Messi had one like that as well, but we already saw in the semi-final it doesn't work. Houston was trying it over and over and over again, and Nicolas, he's got it red.
And the thing I love about not only that goal and how it's come about there from Nicolas is, you know, the aggression he's shown in this first leg to go to that 4-2-2 early. He could have seen this game out and got into the second leg at 0-0, but he thought, no, there's an opportunity here to take a goal lead into that second leg and make things a little bit more difficult for my opponent. And again, we go back to what you were saying at the start of this game. Once Xlevvinken has to chase the game, Nicolas can go back to that 4-2-3-1 because that's where those gaps appear, and he can use that Cam has more space, those wide players have more space, and that's where he can just surgically pick his opponent apart.
Yeah, this first goal should open the game quite considerably, but maybe it's going to be Nicolas getting a second. Not quite. De Gea puts it out for a corner, but Nicolas has come to life here in this first leg, just when he needed to.
Corner then to Nicolas, fires it in towards the back post. Vieira gets up and heads it away, and CR7's going to collect this one for Xlevvinken. Good strength, though, from Eusebio, but speaking of strength, much increased statistic on that Team of the Year Neymar card. Shows his worth, wrestles the ball back. Around 12 minutes left in game here, plus stoppage time. Can Xlevvinken find an equaliser and tie this one up before we go into our second leg? Or Nicolas just if he sneaks another goal here, then that molehill becomes a mountain.
There is space out on the left as well, and he's found it. It's Neymar, heel to heel, just put it through.
Oh, Varane!
Oh, and it's in the post! Mbappe somehow find it. Oh, it's horrible to see if you're on the side of Xlevvinken. It was almost an own goal.
I mean, the save coming in from David De Gea was superb to keep that header back towards his own goal from Rafael Varane, but unfortunately for him, the ball then fell to Mbappe, and Mbappe again makes a difference. He's been the super sub to write home about for a lot of players so far here in London, and he comes out with the goods once again, and that's a hammer blow towards the end of the game. Not only to concede, but to concede in that manner. Xlevvinken, he's got to change things.
To be fair, I think if the defender doesn't get a head on it, even though it was towards his own goal, it's going to back post, and it looked like there was a player free and open to nod that one in. Hullet was waiting, and Mbappe were waiting. Maybe not free, I over-exaggerate. But what a finish from there. Off the crossbar from Mbappe. And Nicolas now takes a 2-0 lead. And they said on the desk in the semi-final, coming back against Nicolas, who's been playing so well this tournament, well, what can Xlevvinken do in this PS4 final to try and combat the Iceman?
Goal before the end of the game here. Pretty vital here for Xlevvinken. 1 goal difference between the two players going into the second leg. Very manageable. 2 goals It means you have to come into that second leg with a different mindset. Here is the chance here. Johan Cruyff on the edge of the box. Slides it into Eusebio. The ball almost fell to Johan Cruyff. Was that the opportunity there for Xlevvinken? Just didn't get the brakes when it mattered.
But here he is again, Mbappe. He's finding that space out on the right. There is
pace.
A couple of men in the middle. It's going to be Eusebio. Passes it out left, but he's kind of just flapped at the shot. It's not worked out for him.
Yeah, that was a big, big chance for Nicolas to take a 3-goal lead into the second leg of our PS4 final. That would have been almost game done and dusted, to be honest with you. Couldn't take the chance, though. And there might be one more opportunity here for Xlevvinken to create a little bit of magic. Vieira into CR7. Into stoppage time now, out wide to Sergio Ramos. Plays it all the way back here to Rafael Varane. Look at the defence. Every single player here from Nicolas behind the ball. Fired into Mbappe, goes near post. Neuer turns it behind.
Final chance from the corner. Cruyff crosses it in, headed away, and that's going to be the final whistle, surely. No, referee says play on. Finally it goes. And that is going to be a 2-goal lead for Nicolas in the first leg, getting himself ever closer to that cross-console final. And of course, ever closer to those 850 Global Series ranking points that really all the players are playing for here today, to get that one step closer to the E-World Cup.
So now it's all up to the man on your screen at home. Can he find an incredible second leg performance that he needs to find in this situation? Here's some of the replays from that first leg as well. You can see that first goal there from Ruud Gullit, and the second goal was slightly unfortunate on the side of Xlevvinken. As Dan was saying, it might have ended up in a goal.
I mean, Gullit was steaming in here, and you've got to think he's got a chance of hitting.
It's a chance,
heading it anyway.
It's a chance, but you know, Xlevvinken can feel a little bit hard done by that one. I think it's one of those where sometimes things just don't quite fall your way. But going into this one, I want to see a formation change from Xlevvinken. I think he can't play that 4-2-3-1. The amount of opportunities he created in that game, they weren't enough to score 2 or 3 goals against Nicolas that he needs now in this second leg. Nicolas has that 4-2-2. I want to see what he's got up his sleeve. He needs to find an ace up the sleeve, because if he doesn't, he's going to be coming runner-up on the PS4, and that's not what you want.
I mean, Xlevvinken has goals in him as well. We've seen him put 7 past 2 of his opponents in the Swiss stage. So maybe he will switch things up. Maybe he notices that 4-2-2 is actually going to be what's needed against Nicolas. Because Nicolas clearly saw, all right, I'm not getting the ball enough in the areas that I'd like. I'm not getting the ball on the wings. So instead, he's changed it to 4-2-2, and Mbappe's made an incredible difference. Now, Lottie did ask you viewers at home, we put out a poll of who you thought was going to win this game, and it was an 88% in favour of Nicolas. And I think you're all going to be feeling pretty smug right now.
Yeah, as you should. 88%, that's an overwhelming majority. Obviously, a lot of Nicolas fans out there. Xlevvinken, though, 12%.
I mean, it's hard to go against the current PS4 champion,
100%,
right?
I was going to say 12% of people at home are believers in that man on your screen. And we've seen what he can do already. We've seen the resilience that he had as well in the semi-final. We have to remember, he came from behind numerous times against Andoni and managed to find a way to get into this grand final. So don't write him off yet. He's got a lot of work to do, but it's still very, very doable here if he can pull out the same sort of performance and show the same sort of resilience that he did in the semi-final.
And I mean, it's easy for me to say, oh, they need to find different ways of trying to score a goal except finesse outside the area. But the way Nicolas is defending, he's almost forcing them to have to take those chances.
Second leg underway then. In our PS4 Grand Final, if you're just joining us, the aggregate score is in the top left-hand side of your screen, as you can see. 2-0 was the result to Nicolas in our first leg. Xlevvinken's got to find goals in this one. Be keeping a close eye on the formations. Looks like he has started off with the 4-2-3-1 once again. There's a chance here to find Ronaldo. Round the corner to Messi and, wow, duck if you're in the stands, because that one was wildly off target.
Because the fullbacks are staying so close to the wingers there, he hasn't got any other option. If he suddenly turns, he's going to get tackled by that right back. So he's just hitting it, and he's hitting it wildly. It's going nowhere. It's not a disrespect to how anyone's attacking. It's more an incredible defensive display from Nicolas.
Oh, there was a big, big chance there for Nicolas, though, to be honest. He turned his man beautifully with CR7. the beauty of having a 2-goal cushion, though. You can kind of forget about those. They don't come as vital. If that chance fell to Xlevvinken in that situation, I imagine you'll see him react. He's like, oh no, that was a big chance. I had to take that one. But if you've got that 2-0 lead, it doesn't matter so much. Messi now. For Xlevvinken. Vieira just trying to find a pass, but look, there's just no space.
Where are the opportunities? Where are the off-the-ball runs? They're being made, but they're being cut out by Nicolas every single time. Finally, there's some space, but Vieira
just as
there
you say it.
to stop it. It's just incredible defending from Nicolas. I would love to see Mike pick apart how Nicolas defends, because I think it really is a treat what we're getting to see.
Well, here's Messi in behind Marcelo then. Little flick over the head. Using that active first touch system to try and fool Marcelo. Vieira now creeping forward. Space here for Vieira. Finds the ball into Ronaldo. Varane gets in the way, though. Well defended by Xlevvinken. Now he needs to find a little bit of something going forward. Needs a little bit of glitter and magic dust to try and get through this absolute wall of a defence. And there's a ball in behind to Neymar.
2 players out the back stick. But look at the pressure from Cancelo as a right-back. And that's been the main difference. When you look at the space that Nicolas gets on the wings with Mbappe, he can out-sprint those fullbacks. We're not seeing the same on that left-hand side. Speak of the devil, it's going to be Pele on the left. And just trying to twist and turn and avoid this fullback. And he's done well to keep the ball here. He's just waiting for one more player to step up and help him.
Yeah, I love how he's just not rushed that pass either. Just waiting for the opportunity to make sure he retained possession there, Nicolas. Xlevvinken defends out, gets the ball back. 20 minutes gone at the start of this first half. Messi now turning inside, trying to find the ball, but there's just no one to pass to, it feels like. It feels like every single player is being marked. Every single passing lane is being cut. Nicolas is just doing a fantastic job of not only defending the space, but reading exactly what Xlevvinken is thinking.
Well, that's the thing, he's not letting the AI do all the work. He's moving his players manually. He's putting them in those positions to cut off all of those angles. It really is a treat. I mean, on the other side, Xlevvinken is doing similar things. He's defending well. He was unfortunate, of course, with the second goal. But he's certainly doing enough to stay in this tie in terms of keeping Nicolas at bay, but he just needs to find that one chance to really give him that hope that he needs. Because at the moment, he's probably feeling like, how on earth am I supposed to score?
Look at this pressure.
I can't even get the ball into my opponent's box.
It's so relentless from Nicolas. You can see the player switching as well. It's not just, you know, using the bumper. He's using the right stick as well to make sure that he's changing to players who are behind the play as well, to make sure that he's moving those to cut those passing lanes. It really is an absolute masterclass at the moment. And going forward, he hasn't been bad this tournament either.
He's definitely been exposing Xlevvinken trying to use the offside trap. Now he can get a ball in here if he wants to, but he is just going to play it short to Marcelo. It's going to be intercepted. Nicolas reluctant to cross it in. He feels like he has a better chance of getting a goal just by passing it around. He'll intercept again. And those CDMs are so far up the pitch now.
Half an hour gone now in the first half. Just 15 minutes in game till you'll hear that whistle. Now it becomes interesting. At what point in the game does Xlevvinken change things? Because he needs to. He will need to at some point. Here's an opportunity, though. Moving this ball nicely in and around the box. Finally, a little bit of space. Ball drops back to Neymar now. Opportunity to strike it. First strike that's really tested Nicolas' is goalkeeper there. Manuel Neuer was up to it. Varane brings this one down inside the box. Unfortunately, Ruud Gullit was in position to win the ball back just as it looked like it might fall into a dangerous area.
And maybe it is a chance like that Xlevvinken needs. Just to take a pop shot. It deflects off one of the defenders and he gets that ball back, and then suddenly there is that gap that he's been searching for so long. But that was maybe a chance and he's not been able to take care of it. So that's going to mean Nicolas is still 2 goals ahead and still could just worm his way through from the left-hand side here. Unfortunately, cut out by Xlevvinken. 5 minutes left then in the first half.
Opportunity for a goal before half-time here. This would really set this one up nicely for a barnstormer of a finish. Vieira, a little bit of room in the middle there for Gullit, but it's Messi who brings this one forward. Finds Ronaldo. Ronaldo does strike it, but look at this. Nicolas is always thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead as far as what he's going to have to prioritise defensively. We saw for the first time, we were almost shocked in some capacities that he'd found that space there, Xlevvinken, and he got the shot away, but, you know, Nicolas had already moved the goalkeeper directly behind where that shot was needed.
It's almost like Nicolas is dictating where Xlevvinken should be shooting. He's forcing those angles out of him, because then he can predict it. That's what he needed, but maybe it was just a shot on goal there from Messi. The keeper had been moved across.
Hands on the shoulder there from the coach behind Xlevvinken, saying, forget about that. You can't worry about that. You saw the disappointment on his face, but here's a chance. Ramos at the far post. Maybe not the player he's looking for. Whips it back in. Pele, though, gets it away. And I think that might be the last opportunity of this first half of the second leg. Nicolas looks comfortable at the moment. The big chances towards the end of that half coming from Xlevvinken, though.
I mean, Nicolas has only had one shot on goal. Xlevvinken has done so well to stop Nicolas going forward. He's, yeah, okay, a few passes have been able to go out on those left and right-hand sides, but he has stopped him there. He hasn't been able to see Nicolas get into the box too often. But what a fantastic chance it was for Xlevvinken to get one back. Messi with so much space, but doubting himself maybe, Xlevvinken, not taking that shot, expecting good goalkeeper movement from Nicolas. Nicolas read it wrong, and then the pass across is easily intercepted.
And that's the mental side of it that we always talk about it, and that's a prime example of it there. He created a clear-cut opportunity and was almost, as you say, overthinking the situation, knowing how important that to convert that chance was. Instead of doing the simple thing, which is to take the strike at goal, it becomes more of a mind game. It becomes more pressure in that situation.
But because he hadn't had a chance that obvious throughout the entire, both legs, he's literally just in self-doubt. He's like, well, why would I shoot? It's going to be saved. Surely I have to go for the pass across goal.
Into the second half then. Xlevvinken still down by 2, 0-0 in this leg. Once again, we will say those familiar changes of Mbappe coming on one side of the pitch and Neymar coming on the other side of the pitch here for Nicolas. From the kickoff then, Ronaldo out wide now to Mbappe. Great ball round the corner there. And oh, that is a vital block from Raphael Varane. First chance of the second half falls to Nicolas, and you think if one more goal goes in and this one down, this is game over.
Yeah, 2 already feels like a really big ask, but 3 would be near impossible with the way Nicolas is defending. Well, I like the way Nicolas is attacking as well, those little dink passes just over the player's shins. But it's just cut out in time for Xlevvinken to keep him in this one. But he's got to be careful there. Nicolas still applying pressure.
All out wide to Marcelo then. Still taking his time to build these attacks. Understands that even though he is down, he can't rush these attacks. It just means he'll give the ball away to Nicolas, but Nicolas is just pouncing on anything at the moment. Anything loose, anything slightly off target, just means that he's going to swoop in, pick the ball up, and then Xlevvinken's got to think about not conceding. He wants to score goals. But one man who's thinking about scoring goals is Nicolas, but R9 puts that one right, a little bit wide of that right-hand side post.
But it's that right-hand side again, with Mbappe making the space. Nice use of the active first touch system, just to tap it round the player so he could get the ball into the box as well. Really hard to defend against the new team of the year, Mbappe. I've said it a few times this tournament, he's probably been my standout foot item of team of the year. I was already impressed with him when I played with him myself, but actually seeing him in a tournament setting now.
Messi then, oh, big save there from Neuer. That was the chance, well, at least a chance there for Xlevvinken. Ball falls at the edge of the box here, tries to take it over Vieira. Nicolas survives once again. 30 minutes left in game then for Xlevvinken.
It's the through balls again that are just carving him open and offering up opportunity after opportunity for Nicolas. He's not been getting too many shots off, but he's definitely been applying a lot of pressure in the final third. So the statistics might not show how well he's been doing with the ball, but we can definitely see what he's been trying. Good save from De Gea. Maybe a poor shot in the end.
It had to be a big save and a good save from David De Gea, otherwise that is game over. You can write Nicolas's names in the history books as your PS4 champion. Now you're going to see some more changes coming in. I'd love it if we could see it from, unfortunately we can't see it from Xlevvinken's point of view, what he's changing to, but we can see the reaction from Nicolas. Obviously, he's probably going to wait and see and check what formation Xlevvinken's going to be changing to. But with only sort of 26 minutes of regulation time left, Dan, you feel at 2-0, he's got to go for it at this point.
Yeah, maybe even just putting 3 at the back and really chucking everything forward. It's going to leave him vulnerable. There is going to be the chance for Nicolas to take the game. But Xlevvinken needs to do something different. Nicolas has just got this so in control, and you can look at him. He doesn't look under any pressure whatsoever. Tom, when he interviewed him, he said, look, are you more nervous in front of camera? And he was like, yeah, to be honest, I am.
Showing nice signs of nerves on the pitch, though. He's been in this position before. He's had so much success before in his career. And he's looking to add another PS4 title to that impressive resume. Great ball in behind him. You can see Mbappe again striding away from Marcelo. Marcelo does manage to get back, but Mbappe's lost his man. Finds it across goal. Oh, it's a slight deflection on it. But that could be the goal that crowns Nicolas your PlayStation 4 champion. Cristiano Ronaldo, the man. The Iceman just takes a sip of water like it's nothing.
I don't know if that's the 4th, 5th, maybe even 6th time Mbappe has found himself in that position. He's tried to play that ball into the box, and it was inevitable. One of them was eventually going to be bundled in. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. It probably puts Nicolas into the grand final here in London. And he will get that chance at trying to do one better than his last tournament. What a story it would be. I mean, quarterfinal, semi-final, final, and then grand final winner.
And the interesting thing for me is you look back at FIFA 18, you look at the start of FIFA 18, some of the champions that we had, Tex, Dasari, Nicolas, getting into grand finals. Same players, consistency, dedication to the game, finding out what works on a new title, what doesn't work, and applying it here in a tournament setting under pressure. Fantastic stuff, and I think they're going to be the 3 names that we're going to be talking about a hell of a lot more as FIFA 19 and the Global Series draws to its conclusion as we get towards the grand finals. Obviously, that's still a long, long way away. A lot can change, but looking back on history and how these players have performed, there's been no surprises whatsoever if you saw those names in contention when it comes to that grand final.
Well, what has Xlevvinken got there with just 17 minutes left? He's exposed at the back again. A little step over and a dink across. Can't quite find Cristiano Ronaldo. Xlevvinken needs to get this ball up the pitch. He needs a goal and he needs it now for there to be even any sort of hope. But every pass is going wayward now. He's slightly rushing his attacks because you can't blame him. He needs to be. He needs to get the ball up the pitch as quick as possible. But unfortunately, against defence like Nicolas, you're going to struggle.
Important tackle there from Marcelo. 3 goals, the difference on aggregate here. You feel like this is kind of just a victory parade at this point for Nicolas. Here's another opportunity. Oh, it's magic. Oh. Unfortunately, the finish wasn't there to match, but a little drag back into the little forward shimmy there to get past his man. Xlevvinken's just desperate to get the ball back. He's going to be committing to every single tackle. It would have been a fine way to sign off. However, up the other end now, Cristiano Ronaldo does find Ronaldo. So you're saying there's a chance?
Maybe. 10 minutes, 2 goals. It would be...
It's a big ask.
Incredible if Xlevvinken was able to do that. Will Nicolas crumble as soon as he sees a goal go in?
And the thing is, Nicolas actually moved his goalkeeper the right way there as well. Unfortunately, it went through Manuel Neuer's legs. Xlevvinken does break his duck in this game, though.
And he could have done with it earlier, though, before we'd seen the goal going from Nicolas. And that would have given him really a bit of hope, but I still feel like he's going to be looking at this game saying, all right, well, even at 3-1, I've probably got no chance. Nicolas can now just play the possession game, play a little bit of keep ball. And he will be there in that cross-console final.
Time ticking down then. Ball given away, though, by Nicolas. A little bit uncharacteristic. Xlevvinken scores here. It could be a very, very interesting few minutes. Pele gets the ball through to CR7. Ball out wide here to Messi. Twisting, turning, looking for the opportunity to strike it. Cruyff does take that shot. And I think that might have been the last-ditch effort coming in from Xlevvinken at the end of this game. Nicolas knows he can't afford to make that kind of mistake once more. Maybe just time. The one thing that is against Xlevvinken here towards the end of the game. Nicolas, he can smell it. He can almost taste this victory. As Eusebio now brings the ball forward.
Yeah, maybe one more chance. A goal here might make it somewhat interesting, but a nice save from Neuer is going to put it to bed, Mark. As the goal kick and a little pat on the shoulder from Xlevvinken's coach.
Xlevvinken takes the earphones out. Nicolas's expression has not changed again. Eusebio here looking to put the icing on top of the cake, and that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Your PlayStation 4 champion here at the Gfinity London LQE. No surprises. It's the Iceman. It's Nicolas 99.
And he didn't look like he was going to lose that game throughout both legs. I'm so impressed with Nicolas, and I'm sure the desk are as well. Tom.